What's up, world? You are in tune to another marvelous talk podcast with your main man, Big G. What's up, Big G, man?
What's up, Marvelous Talk? Good evening to you.
Man. And then we got, of course, always our resident MTM guy, Dame. What's up, Big Dame? How you doing, man?
What's going on, y'all? What's cracking?
Sheesh, man, the Marvel universe is starting to take shape, huh? We've had a couple of trailers pop off, and we had definitely had to talk about this, and we wanted to talk about it, and we're here. So in the special edition, we want to just wrap to you a taste, 30 minutes. We're gonna be in and out. Definitely, let's start here, man. Let's jump into it. The Eternals trailer. Did you guys see that, man? Dang. I know you and I had a conversation off camera about definitely what we thought about this movie. First of all, give me what you thought about the trailer and what you thought in general about the Eternals.
Okay, so y'all got to bear with me. So I personally did never follow Eternals. I know that they're big. I know of them. I know that they have a very significant role, but as far as following them, even the little bit of comics, I'm nowhere near G's expertise to the comics, but I never really was interested in them. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I knew about them. So that was my mindset with this trailer. You know, I'm like, I don't know who these people are. So, so for me, it's kind of, and I told Ahmad this, I said it reminded me of when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, the movie, the MCU version of Guardians of the Galaxy. It was already a comic, but when the movie actually came out, I didn't know any of those characters because I didn't follow that run of the comics. I'm into like the big people, the Spider-Mans and the Hulks. Those were my guys, and that's what I followed. But when Guardians came out, I didn't know none of those people. But man, I got invested in them. My whole family went to go see the movie, and we loved it. We watched all the rest of it, and of course, seen them in Infinity War and Endgame. So I told Lamar it's gonna be the same way with these characters. Though I don't have no reference to them, it's Marvel, man. I'm invested. So I'm going to watch it. And they threw some little Easter eggs in there that kind of say, okay, it's connected. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking forward to it. But like I said, looking at it, I'm just going in like a deer in headlights. I don't know none of what's happening.
And you know what's funny that you said the Easter eggs, they keep showing like stuff that could kind of marry itself to this storyline, like Tony and the Hawaiian garb, actually being at the wedding. It's crazy. It's so much that they're throwing in. But G, what did you think when you saw this trailer, man? Talk to me, man.
Man, I watched the trailer at least 7 times. At least 7 times. Because I wanted to see how close they would come to the adaptation of the Jack Kirby run of the Eternals in the comic book. And so far, they get a thumbs up, man, for what they've laid down in 2 minutes and some change. The Eternals, listen, I think I know where they're headed and why they're doing what they're doing. What they're doing is they're rebooting what we already know about the MCU, right? They're going to go back, and you saw from that little first 30 seconds of the trailer, they went all the way back to pre-Babylon. Mm-hmm. Y'all also saw like when they were standing in front of the gate of Babylon, and they were talking about we helped humanity and all whatever else. So they're laying down the groundwork for some serious heavy hitters. Everything from where the mutant gene comes from to the great city of Muir and Atlantis, which we all know is the Submariner. So
think about it. Yeah, think about it, G. You're right when you talk about the characters. I mean, Black Knight. That's something that is just as crazy. We finna get Black Knight in the MCU, man.
Yeah,
for real. Like, I mean, it's crazy. And for those who don't know of Black Knight, I mean, he's an awesome character. He's kind of a Thor-like character, in the sense that his sword makes him worthy. That sword came to him because he's worthy, and it gives him invulnerability. All of those kind of things.
It also makes him go crazy. Because it's an eternal thing. So
it's got to be a difference. They got to have like a difference in the characters. But I think it was great that you got 2 characters that we've already seen before, or 2 actors that we've already seen before work together, and it's great seeing them work together on the screen. I mean, for real, let's not even talk about it.
And what's interesting, if you notice, between them two, and I don't know, just from what I judge from the trailer, man, look like they fighting over the same woman. I mean,
yeah.
So I'm like, dang, that's kind of deep there, you know. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with that. But I'm like, she with him, and now she with him. It's like, what's up? So
man, I'm gonna tell you something. That woman is Circe is her name, and she is at the source of a lot of comic book stuff. This is the same Circe that tricked Superman into having a child with him. If you check it, in the run of comics where Circe tricked Superman into having a baby and then turned the baby against Superman, and Superman had to go and get the baby. She banned Superman to a whole nother universe because she can create visions in people's heads. So she banned him to a whole nother universe. This man, great Superman, shows up and like, son, I've always loved you. Your mama did this. You know what I'm saying? There's always been drama, but you know, I am looking forward to these characters inside of the MCU so much because there's so much behind the scenes and observation that they've been doing. Of course, they mentioned them in throughout this world that they've been setting up. And Big G, you have to kind of elaborate on the fact, because if you know anything about Eternals, Thanos is kind of like their cousin, because you know the Eternals have this whole thing set up, and that G is about to kind of explain to you. So explain that to us with the Eternals and the Deviants.
Well, okay, so the first thing is you guys got to know right off the bat is that they're not going direct comic book to MCU because there's multiple generations of Eternals. All right, there's actually 4 different generations that's in the comic book. The 5th generation I don't count so much because Sprite and them really is the 4th, but that's a whole nother conversation.
And Sprite is in this movie, by the way.
Correct. She's actually a 5th generation Eternal. But so you have to understand about, just real quick, about the Celestials. The Celestials go across the universe and creating life on different planets. That's their job. That's what they do, right? So the Celestials, and so you know, they went to the Kree planet and they did it with the Kree. They went to the Skrull planet. They did it with the Skrulls. They've been doing this all along. So by them now coming to Earth and they're doing this thing that's called the host, right? The reason they have the host is because they define or decide whether or not life is worthy on that particular planet. So that's why they have they have like the first host, the second host, the third host. When the Celestials come back and they check it out. The first host was like 1 million years ago. The second one was like 18,000 years ago. The third one was like 1,000 years ago. And now I think they're going to put us in this present time where they show that the Celestials are going to come back to Earth. However, when the Celestials come to the planet, literally what they do is they do gene splicing and genealogy with the thing that is already there. So through that gene splicing and genealogy, they created the Eternals, which is like the first superheroes of the planet. Their job is to protect. And then the spinoff of that is the Deviants, okay? The Deviants are like an unstable group of people, and they can do all kind of different stuff, right? Thanos, for y'all that are MCU people, Thanos is an Eternal, but he has a deviant gene. That's why he looks the way he looks, because there's a gene in him, and I think they're going to do something really neat with the tie-in with that. Well, anyway, and then the ones that are left are the humans. The certain humans have mutant genes, right? And so I think they're also going to do something real big with the snaps. So they're going to show how this mutant gene is in people and why they really didn't interfere with the whole thing with Infinity War and Endgame. Because that's the big questions I'm getting. Well, where were they at during all that and all this and this? You're going to find out. And I think that'll be close to the comic book mod. So, you know.
I agree. And then, you know, that's now, you have to remember in the MCU at this point, and Dame, I'm telling you, that's why I love hearing Dame's point of view and having G's point of view to really talk about it, which is why Marvelous Talk even started, right?
Yeah.
It's because of the simple fact that not everybody's a comic book head. Not everybody. Dame, I'm really with you. I remember Rocket Raccoon as a kid, but I didn't remember he was a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember him, but I didn't remember he was a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Same with Wanda Maximoff. I remember Wanda and the Scarlet Witch, but I didn't remember who she was and how she was. So them bringing all of this back, I think it's a perfect bridge. That's why the MCU is so big, because it's a perfect bridge for the comic book heads to walk across, and then those who just love superhero brand movies, you know, they can walk across it as well. You know, just a sidebar, and so that we can continue to keep flowing with this. Also, you can see how they're kind of setting up all of these other different movies. I mean, literally, it's also being set up. They're easing you into the idea of mutants. You know what I'm saying? Kind of pulling you over gradually to the idea of mutants in the MCU. Then now they're talking about all of this news that we're getting with the quantum realm and with Ant-Man. They even gave us a hidden city in the quantum realm, right? Everybody's seeing this. This is all coming to light. We had a hidden city inside of the quantum realm, guys. That is phenomenal. I mean, and they're saying that either that's where Loki is in this whole new Loki series, or that's where Kang the Conqueror was. Dame, what do you think about this kind of stuff, man?
I mean, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I tell you, man, I think Loki's gonna reveal a lot of stuff, and it's gonna. A friend of mine just texted me today about how that's gonna have the tie-in with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, possibly Spider-Man. So Loki, because we already seen from the trailer how he's just messed up the timelines. I mean, so it's crazy. I mean, it's like this is literally. You're looking at multiple phases of stuff that we've already seen, plus them doing the whole Eternals kind of showing, and it's almost like they're taking you back to school with the Eternals. To me, that's what I get out of when I watch this. They're like, okay, we're gonna show you how this thing really came to be and where we are in comparison to what it is and where it all started. So, but man, yeah, it's gonna be a mind trip. I'm just, like I said, I just hope it all. But knowing Marvel, it's gonna all pay off because it's all gonna come together. But it's like, to me, they just throwing a bunch of curveballs at you, and you just like dodging because you don't know which way to go with it. But I'm excited about it, man. I know it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
See, what did you think about this hidden city in the quantum realm being either where Loki is or where Kang the Conqueror was ruled at? What do you think about that? I know you have a stance on it.
It could be either or. It could be either or. I would prefer it to be where the time variance is at. I would prefer it to be that. But if it's where, but check this out. The time variance police, they hunt Kang because there's Kang is a nexus being. So there's multiple Kangs on multiple different realities and multiple different Earths. So the TVA, they be hunting Kang, not just Kang, but Kang Prime. So they go after all the different Kangs as far as the comic book. So now, if that's what they're setting up.
Yeah. From what I heard, man, I could be wrong, but I heard that the TVA is like on the outskirts of the galaxy, like hitting like on the very edge.
Yeah.
So that's what I heard. So to me, that's where they are. But whatever's hanging them now, referencing what you just said about the quantum realm, we know the Ant-Man called Quantum Mania.
Correct.
And we know Kang is going to be in that movie, so he's probably the one that's in the quantum realm.
Yeah. But and check this out. They've already showed. So you guys know that lady that they're showing in the Loki thing, and she looks like she's standing up behind the statues and everything. Man, that's Kang the Conqueror's love interest, man. And when I say love interest, that's subtle. Like Kang does some strange stuff to try to get this woman to be his woman. So I mean, they're setting up. When I'm telling y'all, they're setting up stuff. They're setting up stuff in this beginning part of Phase 4 that might even take us into Phase 6 and Phase 7. That's how far of a line that they're setting us up with, man.
Now with her being in the Loki series, could she be a mold for Kang already in the TVA?
It could be. That's the whole reason. The whole reason why in the comic book why Kang goes back in time is because he finds out that there's beings that aren't Nexus beings that affect the timeline, like what we've already seen in Endgame. Steve Rogers going back and being selfish with them stones and messing up the timeline. So Kang goes back, and because if they mess it up, they mess up his reality, right? So he got to go back and be like, nah, I got to kill Steve Rogers. I got to kill Tony Stark because there's Adamus Stark, who's a relative of Tony Stark in the future. So it's all kind of little different stuff they're doing to show y'all that this MCU is like way bigger than what anybody else even really thinks about, right? So if you're a comic book fan, man, get ready, man. Buckle up, because this thing is about to be off the chain. Off the chain.
Well, speaking of that, the next thing, there's this rumor floating out here that DC is about to be obtained by Disney.
No way. No.
Yes. Yeah, I see it.
No way.
This rumor has been out here, and it's been talked about a couple of times that Disney is about to obtain the rights. Warner is going to sell DC to Disney.
No way.
It's been out here for a week now, so
that would be that's conflict of interest.
No,
actually,
let it go down. Let it go down.
Actually, that is what you would call Endgame. You know, when we're talking about the superhero universe being now every film being blockbuster.
Isn't that some kind of monopoly? They can't do that, man. That's ridiculous.
Let it go down, man.
That's just too much power, man. Disney gonna own our houses after a while. That's too much power, man.
Hey, listen,
I'm sorry.
Hey, look, we pay homage to the mouse.
No, man.
Homage to the mouse.
Listen, man. Listen, I'm just saying.
Check this out. There's this one time me and my wife went to the Disney World, and we had a brother, a Jamaican brother, took us to the airport after leaving Disney World, and he said, "I hope Mickey didn't do to it to you. Take your money in your pocket." That's his way. That's Mickey's way. So that's Mickey's way. He's trying to get in everybody's pocket, man.
Yeah. Listen, man. I just with addressing the rumor and reporting the news is what we do. We're gonna address the rumor, report the news. If it happened, listen, my beloved Batman will be in great hands. You know, I don't have to worry about another line of horrific Batman films like I think we're about to get again. Like we got excellent films with The Dark Knight. Excellent. Yep. But you know, I don't want Mr. Twinkle Man coming over here messing up my Batman. You know what I'm saying? Robert Pattinson, you were twinkling before, man.
Wow.
Over there, you know, you're the twinkling vampire. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I wish Blade would have came in your universe and wiped all you vampires out. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? All y'all twinkling and stuff. Blade would have came over there and handled job. It would have been over.
That boy say twinkling. Wow.
Yeah, that's what they did. They twinkled. They was shimmering. I don't want to see that. Don't give me no shimmering in my Batman movie. He's not a shimmerer. You know what I mean? He's not a shimmerer. You
actually didn't see that trailer for the Batman movie.
Listen. I saw it.
That dude was kicking some behind.
I saw it, but it's still Twinkle Man. It's still Mr. Simmer Man.
I did beat down he gave that dude that trailer. That dude got whipped. You heard bone cracking.
Oh my God.
Man, it's to be determined, man, because the issue with the Batman movies really is the script, fellas. If the script is right, if the script's right, and the story's told right, and we don't go all the way back to, step one, square one with the bat, I think it'll be all right. But apparently it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, it's year one Batman. It's year one. Like when he first took the mantle Because that's why he got that car that looks like a muscle car. It's not the actual Batmobile now. So I think it's gonna be out the chain, man. I'm actually looking forward to that movie.
Yeah. Well, listen, if Marvel got the rights, Disney messed around and bought it, and we were able to give somebody like Kevin Feige all of the DC stories. Can you imagine what the superhero movies would? Oh my God!
Well,
oh my God!
The big thing would be they could cross them over.
I knew you was going to say that.
Oh man,
I knew you was going to say that.
Could you imagine the Marvel and the DC crossing over? Oh my goodness, man! And you got the Justice League jumped up against the Avengers. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. At that point, I might as well get ready to mortgage my house and everything else I got because I'm going to be standing in line waiting for something to come out, man. Come on, man.
Oh, my God.
With his oxygen tank. With your oxygen tank.
Might as well. Got a little tent. I only come out when they put the poster in the little thing talking about coming soon, and I come out and I get in line with my little
God. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So last little tidbit. We had America Chavez casted in the next movie. Sean, tell me why this is a big thing for the MCU. Tell everybody here at Marvelous Talkland why this is a big thing and who this sets up to be a villain inside of the MCU.
Well, this is the theory, man. The theory is that America Chavez could actually be the villain of the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Because for y'all that don't know, America Chavez is a Nexus being just like Wanda Maximoff is, just like Kang the Conqueror is. And you're going to hear me talk about this Nexus being theory over and over and over and over again because that's what the Nexus is going.
What's a Nexus being, Sean? Tell us
a Nexus being is a person that is the same thing on every world and every reality throughout all of time. So if you have one world and one reality, and there's a being that's there, there's another being that's the exact same thing. There's no change in it. Where you're going to see this whole thing about the Nexus being is in the Loki series. Because I'm telling you, you're going to see Loki go from like the Loki that we know that came off of the Avengers movie, because that's the guy that went back with the stone. And you're going to see him encounter with different Lokis and different planets at different times. You're going to see it. There's already rumors talking about a Lady Loki. You're going to see President Loki. You're going to see King Loki. And he's going to have to go back and interact with his other Lokis to try to make that timeline come back together. So that's the opposite of a Nexus being. So when he goes to those other realities, Scarlet Witch is the same thing. She's the one we just saw in WandaVision. She's the same thing in that reality, right? So America Chavez is like the ultimate Nexus being. America Chavez is so cold that she can create realities out of realities. So like when they're in the elevator and they got the time variance thing, and you see them all of the little different things that they can press in. So those are like set in stone realities that they're going to go in. America Chavez has the ability to create realities out of those. She can portal to different realities. So like this young lady can stomp a mud hole in Dormammu. Like she can jump up in Dormammu's reality, wipe him out, and then go create another reality. So that's how cold. And she's also
she doesn't need a vehicle to do it in. She does it naturally.
She doesn't need magic.
Scarlet Witch. She just is. You know what I'm saying?
Her power. Her power is the ability to go through different realities. Now she's super strong. For y'all, for like the young people that's trying to figure out who this lady is, take Doctor Strange and mix it with Wonder Woman and throw in a little bit of Captain Marvel. That's like to lay the baseline, and then on top of that, give her all of Scarlet Witch's power. So that's how important America Chavez actually is. When I'm telling you, she's She's top 15, top 20 Marvel character. Oh yeah, she's cold. So
definitely, man. Definitely,
yeah.
I'm looking, and then the setup to some people say that she is the villain, but other people are saying that there's somebody to come and take her power. And
I ain't buying this. Go ahead. I ain't buying
this guy is a minor character. So definitely, we know we're getting America, and that's all we're going to talk about is America.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're getting that character or not, right? So I won't even bring up his name, but I'll just say that it could go either way. We don't know. Yeah. We're still guessing about Mephisto at this point. So I mean,
I'm gonna say this. I think that Dormammu is going to play that role. You see what I'm saying? Because that being that we're going to leave nameless at this time is sort of like Dormammu that we've already seen in the MCU. So I think Dormammu is going to, because we've already seen it. I think Dormammu is going to take that role. That's just me,
But I would be sad, man, with the Eternals movie if they have a villain. Just hoping we, you know what I'm saying? Because we had that run of weak villains in Marvel movies. I hope we don't go back there no more, man. Because after Thanos, it's like,
oh, but bro, listen. So you got to remember, and I like I said, I might be stretching for what they're going to show in Eternals, but Eternals are on Titan. That's where Thanos come from, right? Mm-hmm. Eternals fought Galactus. Eternals, the severed head of an Eternal. Who you think off that dude? So are the Celestials? I mean, not the Eternals, but the Celestials. Celestials could be the main villain, but the Deviants, we're downplaying how powerful the Deviants are, right? Mm. And you got to remember, Deviants done fool with Kree, they done fool with Skrulls. So that means we done already seen what the Skrulls can do. We done already see what the Kree can do. So can you imagine a being that has ties to those things? Oh man!
And who was it? Nowhere or no? Was it Nowhere?
Yeah, that was the head of a severed celestial.
Severed head of a celestial. Yeah.
So I mean,
who offed him? Celestials is from the beginning of time.
Well, the Eternals are also they were created by the Celestials, right?
Correct.
So from what I understand, if an Eternal catches on, because it's kind of like a kill switch. It's a kill switch inside of the Eternal, because the Eternals can actually join together like Voltron and use their power and focus it. You know what I'm saying? And they focus it on one thing, so they could actually kill a Celestial, right?
So check this out. Y'all know in the Captain Marvel movie, and they was talking about the supreme intelligence that the Kree had. That's almost a form of the Unimind. That's we're getting close to what the Unimind actually is. But that's the Kree's version of the Unimind. That's what the supreme intelligence is. But I didn't mean to cut you off, Mont. I just wanted to make sure people are getting this, because there's a lot of background. Even this, the Kree come to Earth and mess with the humans themselves and try to do like the Celestials, and they create Inhumans. For real. So that's where the Inhumans come from. The humans come from the Kree trying to be like the Celestials. So, it's all kind of little stuff, man.
Listen, there's a lot that we have that's coming forward to look for. And look, we're only a week away from Loki. Loki's the 9th, or is it the
9th?
We're June 2 weeks away. We're 2 weeks away from Loki, you guys. So hold on to your shirt and definitely keep watch to Marvelous Talk, man, because we got more coming. We're gonna always stay on it. We're gonna talk about the news that we got. And last but not least, man, Dane, the thing that I want more than anything, if they gave us a blue Marvel movie, I would lose my mind. I would turn.
Could be in the Marvels. Could be in the Marvels. You got the whole Marvels. Who's? It can't just be just the ones we already seen. It got to introduce somebody new. So could he be in the Marvels movie that's coming out?
Because he gave Monica Rambeau some of her powers. This is Blue Marvel, man. My guy, Blue Marvel is man. I mean, for real. Like, I just won't even go off on a tangent. But dude, listen, thank you guys for getting on and definitely rocking with us for this midweek segment of Marvelous Talk. We'll be back. We got another segment coming soon. As always, for my main man, Dame and Big G, we love you guys. Thanks for rocking with us on Marvelous Talk. You guys take care.